What is happening, everyone? I'm Steve Metrics. That's your boy.
DJ
And
Triggs.
together we are No Debate Sports, creeping up on the end of July, Triggs. We are getting that much closer to the beginning of fantasy football drafts. I am going to be in two different leagues, and I got some strategies. There is one that I have for this looks like a 12-team league, and then one for our league, which is 24 teams, and they are complete, almost polar opposite strategies. Specifically for the fact that a certain player I think should have absolutely been MVP, and Josh Allen clearly had no business being the MVP in the NFL last season. There are
Uh,
clearly at least three players to me that are just flat out better than him.
ooh.
And these
Okay.
rank in fantasy as well. And these are players in fantasy that I would cut people down with ahead of Josh Allen.
Okay. Uh, let- should I take some guess?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
All right. Okay. Okay. Obviously, I'm gonna go Lamar Jackson, numero uno.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Lamar Jackson is the one. I will tell you this flat out that to me, he is clearly the MVP ahead of Josh Allen. I just don't think it's even close. I I even still I mean, I gotta go off my gut, what I know, what I've seen. The duds I've seen out of Josh Allen, he's had great games for sure, no doubt. But I do not think Josh Allen is the best quarterback in the NFL. I do not even think he's the second best quarterback in the NFL. He may or may not be the third best quarterback in the NFL. With that being the case, there's no way I can vote that that player should be the MVP in the NFL. He's very good in fantasy, no doubt, but he is not the guy that I would want to go to battle with. He is up there, but if I have to just flat out win and just slug it out, I mean, granted, Josh Allen does have the running capability, the toughness for sure. Um, but part of me does like Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow to me is just flat out an overall better quarterback. But Lamar Jackson is crazy, just flat out crazy. I watch Ravens games. I know there's Derrick Henry there, but it is the best quarterbacking I think I've seen of his entire career. Outright, just flat out, outright awesome. The guy basically put up across every single league, he put up almost 430 fantasy points. 430. That
Wow.
is that is mind blowing. That is an absolute absurd amount of points. That basically, if you had him, a solid stud running back, a solid stud wide receiver, I find it very hard for a fantasy team like that to be defeated. I just do. Basically, you could run the table with those three guys, probably a good defense, and not ever worry about a thing. Anything after that is just pure gravy. So Lamar
Okay.
Jackson,
Okay.
the guy doesn't have
Number
dud games. He doesn't.
number two. Are you ready?
Sure.
This one. This one's gonna surprise some people. Joe Burrow.
Yes.
Okay.
He
Two for
is
two.
yeah, he is absolutely one that should be up there. His low games, to be honest, aren't that bad. He can definitely have some games that are kind of in the teens every now and then, but they're not complete duds. However, man, dude, his crazy upside, just from an arm talent alone, he can basically do it all with his arm. He can do it all with his arm. He can add some running plays into it as well. He's not as crazy about it, but he does have speed ability. It's like kind of Aaron Rodgers in the back third of his career. That's the kind of speed you're looking at. But this is a guy that his chemistry with Jamar Chase is insane, and Jamar Chase is clearly the number one wide receiver in the NFL. Just clearly.
Okay. Okay. All right. Hmm. Let me guess. Because of the weapons, Jaden Daniels.
I like Jaden Daniels a lot. I would absolutely have him ahead of Josh Allen, but he's going to be a guy that is going to have a fantastic NFL season for sure this season. I just think the sky's the limit. Things get better. The league will definitely kind of catch up to him a bit. However, the thing is, his legs are a much stronger weapon than for a guy like a CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud is a traditional pocket passer, very Aaron Rodgers esque in terms of style and posture and just kind of ability, I think throwing ability. But Daniels has the running ability, which is wild. And to be honest, not something that I really noticed as much when I was watching the guy in college post ASU. But he is fantastic. There is that Terry McLaurin stuff going on, but even if it's not, this is a guy who's going to figure it out. In the future, he may or may not have Terry McLaurin. He's going to be fantastic. He will absolutely figure out how to keep it going, whether it's guys with Debo Samuel, the running back crew that they got, and other weapons surrounding them in Washington. I believe Christian McCaffrey's younger brother plays for the Commanders and isn't too bad. So you got him out there as well. Just got to look at some of those weapons that they have with Washington. I'm telling you, man, that's a team that if you can get any of those players on offense on your team, it's going to pay dividends, man. Those are guys that they're going to possibly be able to give you 10 points when you really need 10 points in a given fantasy week. I like Jaden Daniels a lot, but I wouldn't say he's like the number one overall guy. Could he be a
Okay.
guy going in first rounds of drafts? Totally. But he
Okay.
might not be the number one overall guy, but he's a guy that is going to go very highly in the first or second round of every draft.
Okay. So this one kind of puzzles me, and I'm all right. This is just me going gut feeling, right?
Yeah, totally.
And not a gut feeling that I think this is going to be your guy,
Yeah.
but he did throw for 4,500 yards and 40 touchdowns,
Yep.
so he could be sneaky, right? Could be sneaky. Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield's a guy I did like. I don't know
Oh,
if I fully like it this season. He wouldn't be a guy I would have voted for MVP, but he definitely carried his weight, that's for sure last season. And he is easily a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. He might be a top 5 based off of last year, but this year it's going to be tough without having what's his name, Alex. I forgot the guy. The guy was the right tackle. He busted his knee. He's getting surgery. He's going to be out like half the season. But that's going to screw up his protection. And man, Mike Evans is always like this close from being out for significant time. So I'm a little concerned about that. I am concerned with the rest of that division catching up to Tampa Bay. And Baker is a dink and doink kind of guy. He's a running kind of guy, but they got good things going for them in Tampa Bay. But he really stepped up last season. He's getting into his own. He's finally getting with offensive play callers. They may be different, but they're all on the same page, same style, and they work together. So I like Baker. I don't think I would want him to be the quarterback of my fantasy team though, because you have to get value everywhere else. And knowing that with him, I think we're going to see a fairly sizable regression. I would not touch Baker Mayfield at all this season.
dang. All right. That
Yeah,
that one kind of hurt a little bit. I'm not gonna lie
I
to
know.
you.
I like him though.
I'm trying to think of quarterbacks that I can kind of like. Oh man. I really
I
don't
mean,
know.
I'll tell you
All right.
what. I'll tell you what, for MVP, truly, like it would probably be Saquon Barkley from last year, based of how he played his style, how he carried Philly, plus how he carried fantasy teams as well. We know Jalen Hurts is in the mix as well. But the big thing too that we're seeing is the highest end running backs carry significant value in fantasy. If you have you almost have to have one just solid go-to steel clad hammer guy that can just kind of keep pounding to get you end zone points week in, week out. If you can get a guy who can get you 1 to 2 touchdowns each week, that's big. And running backs have the most consistent volume over just about any position that's not quarterback. They really do. So there's some really high end running backs that if you're in the top 20, you better think twice about, because if you pass on them, you're not going to really be able to find that consistent volume elsewhere throughout your draft. I mean, you're going to have some like real hidden gems, some deep sleeper bangers, and they're out there, but they are hard to catch, and you really got to call your shot and nail it. Otherwise, I mean, I had a year I went for the Dallas Cowboy running backs when McCarthy was coaching them, and that was when I knew McCarthy doesn't like having running backs. He just it's not part of his game, and I ate all those running backs for zilch. So that's how I played fantasy that year. It was tough and it didn't work. But I'm telling you, if you can get a solid running back and a guy like Christian McCaffrey comes back to the fold off of injury, I think CMC in the 20s is just awesome value, like insane value. We know how he does things in San Francisco. He carried 70% of the offense in like his final year in Carolina. McCaffrey is insane. He is absolutely insane. You know, if you get him, you have to handcuff the backup. It was Jordan Mason. Mason is up in Minnesota. Mason's a great handcuff, especially if you get Aaron Jones. But you have to get that backup running back with San Francisco. And Shanahan is really good at getting backup running backs for McCaffrey. He nailed it with Mason. He had it with Garendo. Garendo, unfortunately, is going to be out this whole season. I don't know who that backup is, but do the research, find him, and get ready that when you lose, that when you have McCaffrey and you have to get that backup running back, be sure you get him and someone doesn't just snipe him from your draft, because I was the guy that sniped Jordan Mason last year and it was fantastic.
So okay, I'm guessing too much and I'm missing out here because the only other guess that I want to say is Jordan Love, but I'm not really sure. Who are your top 5 fantasy quarterbacks?
Yeah, my top five fantasy quarterbacks are Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Jaden Daniels, and boy, it gets real spicy after that. I will tell you a very interesting fantasy stat that we came across. Um, and this should be true in just about every league. Would you believe that Bo Nix had a better fantasy season last year than the Super Bowl champion Jalen Hurts?
Yes.
He did. He absolutely did. And it is mind blowing. Could Bo Nix be top five by season's end? It's up there. It's really up there. The way that offense runs, I could to be honest, a guy like Dak Prescott is one that I think you're going to get crazy value out of, but because that defense is just going to be so bad and takes a step back, their offense is going to be playing offense like nonstop. So Prescott's going to be a guy that I think is going to be huge value if you can get him in your draft as well. He's going to put up huge numbers. He's got great wide receivers. He's basically going to carry the team again. Prescott's pretty impressive, that's for sure.
So you know it's crazy. I'm glad you said that name. So to me, there's 5 quarterbacks that I would take outside. Like, let's just say your strategy was waiting on quarterbacks, which
Yep.
hey, might be mine again.
Yeah. 1 out of 9 shot of any quarterback at any given week in our league of 24. Yeah, I might just not take a quarterback at all.
Um, hey, I mean, we can still get um, but outside of the top 10, so most teams are gonna or most leagues are gonna go 10, right?
Sure.
Maybe even 12.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at guys like Justin Fields. That's
Oh
a
my
solid
gosh.
pickup. Really do like Jordan Love.
Yes.
Jordan Love. I'm just looking at some rankings based on the 4 letter network. They've got
Yeah.
uh, they got Dak at 14. Justin Fields
Green Bay
is at 13.
straight up Green Bay is a team that I'm concerned about that defense. So Jordan Love could be a guy who's out there pretty much nonstop.
Jordan Love is 17.
17?
And then like it kind of gets a little wonky. The 17th.
Jeez. That's insane.
Um, yeah. So CJ Stroud is 18. picked up why am I blanking? Otherwise,
Yeah.
they've got a nice wide receiver room.
Stephon Diggs.
Stephon Diggs, thank you.
Yeah,
And
they
then
got Stephon Diggs. Oh wait, no. My bad. He's in
no,
New England. He's with
oh yeah,
Drake May.
he signed in New England. Good
Yes.
call.
Yeah. But they're gonna get back Tank Dell.
And then my fifth guy to maybe think about because there was an injury that happened today to your boy Will Levis,
Oh yeah.
season-ending injury and surgery. Maybe some Cam Ward. He's going 23rd in quarterback rankings. Why
Yeah.
not?
Cam Ward's pretty interesting. He's gonna put some weight of that team on his shoulder. That's a team that's gonna have a really good defense. I do have to see what else is in that running backfield to accompany Tajay Spears. But you're looking at a team that's going to have a nice defense going into the season. The question is he going to have a team that's good enough to compete against CJ Stroud? That's the thing, is their defense probably is going to be better than the Texans, and for whatever reason, typically I see defensive coordinators, their defenses tend to get worse as they become head coaches. There's a little bit of a struggle there between them operating a team and doing what they know best. But Tennessee is a very interesting team, to be honest, and we know they're going to play a fourth place schedule, so that benefits them as well. This is a team that could steal some games. That quarterback is going to steal games because you have no tape on him, so he's going to be hard to adjust to. Who else is on offense for the Titans? Do you have that depth chart in front of you?
Ooh, I could pull it up. Let's
Yeah,
look
you
at it.
gotta you gotta
Uh,
pull it up because they will go tooth and nail against the Texans. I believe. I mean, Texans with Joe Mixon, they got it, but this is basically do or die for that Titans head coach. He's basically going to have to figure it out now, because if I'm the Titans owner, I know there's a guy out there who clearly should be the head coach of a football team right now, and if I can fire my head coach and bring in this guy and have him develop this quarterback and develop him incredibly well, like he's been working the last handful of seasons with another really good quarterback, I could see Mike McCarthy being the next head coach of the Tennessee Titans.
whoa,
Yeah.
Big Mike.
Absolutely. And that would be a fantastic spot for him. And think of it in this way. This is kind of like Justin Herbert with the Chargers, where they had that really solid offensive coordinator from the Buffalo Bills. I know he got fired and now he's working with Shanahan in San Francisco. But same thing. They didn't like the way things were rolling with Herbert. So they fired that coach. I didn't think that was a good idea. And everyone else they've replaced since has not really worked for Herbert. But you can't keep changing all these play callers for your quarterback because it gets weird, unless it's like Mayfield. But this would be about the perfect time to do it for Cam Ward and the Titans. Let him go this season. If it works, it works. But I don't think the son of Bill Callahan thus far is all that great of a head coach. He has thrown Will Levis out there to the media, may or may not be legit. I mean, it could be totally legit. Could be totally legit that Will Levis was not good and was a prick. Totally legit. But you don't really want to always put that stuff out there when you're the head coach and you have proven nothing. You have done nothing. Absolutely zilch. The Texans run that division. You don't. Even the Jaguars have more to say in that division than the Titans. So that's where I'm a little concerned. And granted, they can attract free agents, but they can't really develop a team. And I hope Bill kind of can operate that offensive line, which he probably will, and keep that offensive line running. But will the son be a good head coach and be able to get things moving on offense? And this, to me, will be the season that shows it, because year two will be a regression. If year two is going to be a regression, I want Mike McCarthy to be that play caller, and I want him developing the quarterback from here on out.
Solid. I mean, not a bad idea. But so we're looking at Tony Pollard and Tajay Spears at the running back position. Calvin
It's
Ridley,
okay.
Tyler Lockett, and Traylon Burks.
That's not bad, man. That is not a bad receiving core. That is a receiving core you can roll with. They lost their tight end last year, right? Didn't their tight end go to, was it the Patriots or something?
I'm honestly blanking on who their tight end was. They
Yeah.
got Chiga Konkwu, if I'm saying that correctly,
Okay.
um, right
Yeah, I don't
now.
really know who that is. So that might
Yeah,
be a nix on tight end, to be honest. I'm a
yeah.
little concerned at the running back depth, and with a great defense, you're gonna have to have good running back depth. Because those
I'm
aren't
trying to
bangers.
find him
Those
on a
are
ranking.
those are tailbacks. Pollard and Spears are really tailbacks. They're not hard bruiser pound and ground running backs.
Oh man,
Probably even one of them
yeah, they
gets
got
traded, to be
Chig.
honest.
They got him at the 21 ranked tight end
Yeah.
in fantasy.
Yeah, it's to me it's going to be too one dimensional. I think they're gonna dare teams to run the football, and they're gonna put guys back there. So if I'm in fantasy, Cam Ward is a guy that I would avoid because he's going to be seeing double high coverage. He might even be seeing triple coverage in zone schemes. And if teams are rolling zone schemes out there and confusing him, it's not going to go well, man. He could have a few games, but based on the fact that there's not going to be much respect for the tight end and the running back position, I think that will work against him. And Calvin Ridley, man, like he's really a play away from going down. And I wouldn't bank on Calvin Ridley. That's my concern.
Understandable. My
Yeah.
concern in fantasy football is tight ends. What do you say?
Yes. Yes, there are some interesting tight ends. Two that have been drafted highly from this past NFL draft, as well as one that I think is going to have a big time impact. This is a name that I think we're really familiar with, but the fact that one guy went down from injury and one guy just left and went out of town to Washington, I think George Kittle has a really big season this year. I think he becomes the main guy. I think he's got some really good play in him. You might want to handcuff him with the backup tight end just in case things happen, but maybe you don't. I get it, but I think George Kittle is a solid one that's out there. Again, to Brock Bowers and the tight end for the Detroit Lions is solid. Your guy, what blanking on the name, but your tight end Tucker Kraft is
Yep,
fantastic. He
I
is
agree.
he is either the best or the second best pass catcher on the Packers at this point. He has worked his way up. Matthew Golden is going to be solid. Jaden Reed's going to be solid. But again, too, you have a lot of mixes of wide receivers on the Packers. You really got Tucker Kraft at tight end, and he will do his damage. He can get open on some big plays. He can be wide open and not receive a football from Jordan Love as well, and that can kind of be a little glaring. But Tucker Kraft can have some pretty big games. He can absolutely execute when they get to the red zone, and that chemistry in the red zone with him and Jordan Love that will accelerate. That will get better this season. So that I really like as well. But the rookies coming into this season, I think, are very impressive. The one from the Bears, I believe, is going to overtake Cole Kmet. I believe he will be the guy. He will be the one doing damage. Fantasy, again, to these rookies generally are not going to produce much, but he's going to be one that does it. The other one that I think is a real steal that you can get way late is the tight end that was drafted to the Colts. I think he is the better tight end than the one that went to the Bears. And this is a team that, with the Colts, are going to probably operate something to one of two ways. Either they're going to get to that end zone often with Anthony Richardson, or maybe not as much, but then Daniel Jones is going to check down to that tight end a lot. Daniel Jones will check down to tight ends a lot. So, and it's Shane Steichen. So, Steichen hasn't really always had the quarterback. He kind of had it with Minshew, which tells you that he made Minshew work, and Minshew's not that great. but it tells you that he's going to try to make it work with Daniel Jones or Anthony Richardson or both, and it may or may not work. It probably doesn't. And the Colts are probably going to be one of the worst teams in the NFL. I do see that. But I think that tight end is going to be something special and something that could find his stride. I think this guy is a total late flyer that you take a chance on in drafts, and he could hit gold. He could really hit pay dirt. He is definitely my gem that I'm looking at way deep in drafts. I got to see where he's going, but he's a tight end that I really, really want on my team. That's no debate. Yeah, you there, Triggs? So, so that's definitely a quarterback that, or I mean, sorry, a tight end that I'm looking at for next season. So yeah. So yeah, I think definitely tight end is something that carries a lot of value. And to me, that when you can really take your team and make some value on it going into your season,
Going
if
into
you have
your
two big
season,
time
you're
tight ends, you're
on
going to
tight
actually
ends,
have a
you're going
stronger
to
team
actually have a stronger team
because you can count on them
because you can
for
count on them
games
for
uh,
games uh,
into the into the
into
next
the
week.
next into the next week.
So
So
So yeah, I would definitely want to go with multiple tight ends if you can get probably two, possibly three. And I mean, especially if you get a guy like Travis Kelsey. I think Travis Kelsey has a much better season this year than he did last. But Noah Gray is a guy I would want, and there might be games where I'd want to march Gray and Kelsey out there together if the situation calls for it and if the week deems it right. So that's something you got to look at. But yeah, generally speaking, if you have stronger tight ends, I generally think your team is going to be strong as a whole because to me it indicates that you have a good running back, a good quarterback, and you might be weaker at wide receiver. But as you get better at fantasy, I think it's easier to pick up wide receivers and really figure that out. It's tough at first, but once you get the knack for it, you can make it happen. Tight ends aren't too easy a spot. There's maybe seven good ones in a good given season over the course of the year. So it's hard to get a good tight end. If you get a good tight end, it's a position that you will basically give yourself a 10-point advantage going into a matchup on any given week. So tight end is pretty killer if you can nail it.
That makes good sense to me. Like, I don't know. I'm thinking tight ends not the end all be all, but like you can probably get a tight end later in kind of figure out exactly what you're trying to do with your draft by
Right.
getting, a running back early or, something like that. But tight ends are they're weird people.
They are. And actually, one I had success with last year, I want to say it was like Tyler Higbee, tight end for the LA Rams. That's a team that is going to
Yep.
find their way downfield often. And I went with him for multiple weeks and it worked. Another guy that I really like, Mike Gesicki. Gesicki is basically the third overall target, and he just flat out dominated games. If there were games where there wasn't a T. Higgins and it was just him and Jamar Chase, he could take over games, man. Gasicki is really stepping up. He's a guy I've always liked for as long as he's played in the league. He just hasn't always played on really good teams, or Mike McDaniels doesn't know how to call an offense around him. It is what it is. But Gasicki in Cincinnati, if him and Burrow are on the same page, that's all you need to know.
Right. And I was just about to say that's one of those guys where I mean, they got him ranked as the 20th tight
Oh
end.
my gosh. No.
You look at stuff like that, and you go,
Yeah, Gesicki is not a guy that I would rank in the 20s. He's a very, very solid, suitable tight end. He even played even better this past season. The other one that I really like, who I think is going to show you a lot of value, who is playing better now that he's coming off an injury, and I think this offense is going to be smart to integrate him more frequently because this is a young quarterback that's just playing basically his own rookie season. I think this is a guy you like, and I know you've played with TJ Hawkinson. I think TJ Hawkinson from Minnesota is
true.
clearly top 7.
True. Yeah, they got him at top 5. So
Sure.
it's not a bad thing. Not a bad at all. So I'm looking at other players that could be something.
Yep.
Evan Ingram at 9
Oh
is with
yes,
Denver now.
he is in Denver.
And Bo
Bo
Nix,
Nix, big
yeah.
time tight end.
Um, Another one that could be a steal because we talk so much about Dak Prescott. Jake Ferguson is 11.
Fantastic. Oh man, if you get him at 11, you're gonna get some big, big games, man. Ferguson on that team, that offense, that's a good thing. Good, great fit there. I think he's probably better than 11. He'll probably find his way into the top 7. I think. Um, yeah, he's pretty good. The Ravens tight ends, whether it's Mark Andrews or Isaiah Likely, maybe Andrews ain't the guy that he used to be. Fine, but if I can roll the dice with either of them, I'm looking at a touchdown pretty much on any given game.
Okay. I got 2 for you. You tell me what you think.
Yeah.
One is like unrankable. He literally just unretired. Darren Waller. And then we got Kyle Pitts is ranked 18th.
Okay. Yeah, I would definitely roll with Pitts. Pitts with Penix, that just kind of has a ring to it. And I think Pitts is finally going to have the quarterback that is going to make things work. And there wasn't too much of him with Cousins, and then Cousins went down. So it is what it is. Um, and Darren Waller, do not trust that guy. Like that, there are so many red flags. He will basically be just going down to Miami to chase tail. He is not there to do anything serious. He is literally going down there to chase tail. Get
You
paid,
killed me.
chase tail. That's
You
it.
killed me. All right.
Yes.
All right. So now all right. I do have one more because, like, he saved me a couple times during the season. My
Yeah.
man, Kate Otten, 87 targets, 600 yards, and 4 touchdowns. They got him ranked
Yes.
25th.
Man, Kate Otten had a great season last year. However, it was a little gravy and a little bit banged up. So his matchup, I mean, man, we pulled it up. I think you got him. I tried to get him on waivers. I don't think I've ever seen
Mhm.
a free agent that is on the waiver wire that you pull up his future stats and it is nothing but green grass. Like it is nothing but green pastures, and you hope it's greener on the other side. He had some good matchups, he really did, and then he got hurt. So that's kind of a bummer, but he's still truly the number 1 tight end there. In that dink and doink offense, he fits. He is totally a guy. Should anything happen to Evans or something, like he is the guy. But the thing is, too, again, they lost a tackle. Is he going to have to scale back and play more offensive line this season because of that? That's something you really got to consider, and that concerns me.
Like, man, listen to this. He played Baltimore, Atlanta, and Kansas City,
You're
right?
right.
The guy had 31 targets, 158 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Or 258 yards, sorry, and 3
Sure.
touchdowns.
Yeah, those are solid numbers against some fairly formidable defenses. I know Kansas City was like one of the worst against the tight end, though. So you got to consider that. Um, Denver was a good defense, to be honest. Baltimore, I think, was another one that struggled against tight ends. But yeah, I mean, those are good numbers, man. Those are good numbers. They look good. Again, I like Kate On. He's a guy that, man, if I'm really grasping for straws late, he's the guy I'm gonna have to go with. I hope it doesn't end that way, but Kate On is a guy I like. I just hope it goes better than what I think.
Okay. All right. Let's talk wide receivers. Is Jamar Chase really the number one? Sure. Doesn't get any easier than that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I see him going like literally number one overall.
okay. I get it. Jamar Chase had like insane numbers last year. He is the guy. I am hearing there is a little bit of a curse to like a Madden curse for being the number one pick for fantasy, that these guys generally do get hurt, whether it's Christian McCaffrey, Justin Jefferson, stuff like that. Like these guys do get hurt. And there's starting to be some heavy tread on the Jamar Chase tires that concerns me a little bit. I did see him take a bad hit a while back against the Texans. He came back. He did all right. He had some big games after that. I don't know. I am a little concerned about him, but to me, that's where like you gotta. I mean, his value from him to the next wide receiver is massive. It is a massive drop off. It is a massive drop off from Lamar Jackson to the next quarterback, which is Josh Allen, according to most people. But that being said, I would probably still want to have it's tight. Like I would still want to have a killer running back if I could get him, but there are certain wide receivers, and I think some of these guys were rookies last year that I almost value that could have better seasons than Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson straight up. And all three of these guys were rookies last year. I mean, look at a guy like Malik Neighbors, had an insane season last year. I don't exactly know where Malik Neighbors is going in fantasy drafts, but if he's going anywhere near the 20s, that is way low. Way low. Malik Neighbors doing what he did with zero things around him is as good as Jamar Chase. It is easily as good as Jamar Chase. It's probably even more impressive than Justin Jefferson at this point. This is a guy that's healthy, has nothing around him, and is finally probably going to have better quarterback play going into this season. But now, and not only that, he's going to have a better team going around him this season. So things for him are going to ease up defensively. I think that that's going to work a lot better for Neighbors. Roma Dunze, guy in Chicago. I think Rome is going to take over. He will take over DJ Moore. He will be the guy. Him and Caleb Williams got chemistry like no other. Rome respects Ben Johnson. The work ethic of Rome is just top notch, insane. He's got commitment like no other, and I like it. But the third one, who I think has crazy potential, and he is a guy that I am kicking around first pick overall, especially in our 24 team league. I think he could have the biggest season of any wide receiver. Is a name that is not sexy, it is not flashy, but it is Brian Thomas of the Jacksonville Jaguars, who also played college with Malik Neighbors, and people were saying like, "Hey, this guy might be just as good, if not better, than Malik Neighbors," which was kind of bizarre to hear based off of all the tape. But Brian Thomas is a stud. He's absolutely phenomenal with how he plays, and there is no Evan Ingram. There's virtually no other wide receivers on this team. I mean, they're going to have a guy playing defense in Travis Hunter play wide receiver alongside him. That to me tells you that this guy is just poised for a breakout. He is going to be the guy in Jacksonville. He's healthy, and it's a new offensive play caller that hopefully they finally get it right with Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence, you can get crazy value with. He's probably going deep in the 20s as well. I think Brian Thomas is a scary wide receiver, and there's no Evan Ingram. Ingram is in Denver. Just crazy volume that you're looking at that Brian Thomas could get. And that's what you need.
Brian
If you want
Thomas.
a number one wide receiver, crazy volume. Brian Thomas will get crazy volume, just like Malik Neighbors.
Brian Thomas is going to be about the 10th or 11th. Nope. Eighth wide receiver taken off the board. He's going in the second round. And then, man, I just lost Roma Dunze. He's number 32 wide receiver for
Yep.
some strange reason. And
pretty
he's going
low.
in the 6th round.
Yeah, I can tell you, especially in our league, I think Rome is going to get drafted probably in round two. I mean, could that equal round four? I think round six for Roma Dunze is way too low. He's
Yeah,
easily around four for 10 team drafts. To be honest, he
ranked
should be
at
around.
32 is nuts.
Yeah. He's gonna have big games. And the thing is too, I know this because I played with these receivers in recent fantasy years, over the last 2 years, to be honest. Between DJ Moore and Keenan Allen, they've had big games, like really big games. And this was before Ben Johnson took over as head coach. Ben Johnson is going to take that offense to a next level. And those running backs are going to be interesting as well. So you got some running backs, you got that rookie tight end, you got Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is going to take another step forward. I just think you're gonna have some really cool things on that offense, and Roma Dunze and DJ Moore, like he can run a beautiful route tree, so you can do some really cool stuff with DJ Moore on that team as well. But Rome and DJ Moore, I think are incredibly valuable wide receivers. Moore is probably going ahead of Rome, but I would think if I just got to really think who's going to be the one, I just know the synergy between him and Caleb Williams dates back to last year's NFL Combine. So, like, Rome is, to me, this is the year that Rome becomes the one. And I think Rome, Neighbors, and Brian Thomas, they all have the ability that they could end up as the best fantasy wide receiver or right at the top across every league.
See, and that's why I like Roma Dunze. Same way, if he's going that low,
Jeez.
Keenan Allen's not bad. They have
Yeah, there's
Luther
no Keenan
Burden
Allen.
and Devin Duvernay. Right. And then on top of that, Colston Loveland is at some point going to take over the tight end for Cole Kmet, or maybe they go 12 personnel. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
But at the
Yep.
same time, it's like he's the number 2 wide receiver easily and going to be number 1.
Exactly. There is just so much upside to Rome, and Rome's got height. He's bigger than DJ Moore. Like, I think Rome's got the ability that he will be like that next, like Devonte Adams kind of guy, that next DK Metcalf kind of guy. He is that prototype. Those prototypes are kind of hard to come by, and he's got the commitment. He will fight through injury, and that's what you want. You want a wide receiver who is tough, like Brian Thomas or what's his name? The wide receiver for the Philadelphia Eagles, that Heisman winner. That guy's tough, man. Those are the guys you want. You want those
Devontae
guys.
Smith.
Devonte Smith. Those are the guys that you want who are going to be out there every single week. So yeah, you can count on those guys. You can count on Rome. You can count on Devonte Smith. Devonte Smith is a sneaky guy for fantasy that you don't want to sleep on. He might be a guy that in round two, depending what you're looking at, Devonte Smith might be a guy you got to think about.
He's actually going as a 26th wide receiver off
Ooh, that's value.
the rankings I'm looking at.
Nice. Yeah, that's value. If you can sneak that guy, go ahead.
You hear me?
What you got
5th
there,
round
Triggs?
pick.
Okay. What you got there, Triggs? You broke up for a little bit.
Oh, sorry. My phone went out for some strange reason, so I had to change to my phone at some point. But it's showing him as a 5th round pick.
Yeah, that's right there with Rome. I mean, if you can't get Rome, you might want to think about a guy like Devonte Smith. Jalen Hurts will have some games where he just airs it out, and Devonte Smith can get wide open for like a 70-yard touchdown like that. Yeah. So I like him. He's good. And not only that, I would rather spend that capital on him than super early capital on AJ Brown, where there is some kind of tension between him and Jalen Hurts. We know that's true. Am I going to feel good spending a first or second round pick on AJ Brown? No, not at all. Like, not happening. But can I spend a fifth or sixth round pick on Devonte Smith, maybe even a fourth round pick? Yeah, I can live with that. I can make that work. I can see what happens. I can see how these matchups play out. I can see how a second best outside wide receiver fares up against certain defenses in the NFL, teams that are better with their first outside corner against a first high end wideout. That I can play with. But Devontae Smith is a guy that I like, and I know he's going to be out there. AJ Brown can't always say that, so that's what I'd have to roll with.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. I'm looking at some of the lower tier, and I don't really like to call them lower tier, but later round guys, and I'm seeing Tet McMillan, the top wide receiver that went to Carolina.
Sure.
Maybe even Jordan, or maybe even Travis Hunter. It might be a guy to try out. If Matthew Golden's a really good player, he's ranked 44th on
I
this
think
ranking.
Golden's insane. I'll be honest.
Yeah,
Golden is a guy. These Texas speed demons, go with them, man. Like I know people want to even sleep on Xavier Worthy this season. I'm telling you, man, I had the guy at the end of last season. He found his stride without Rashi Rice. Is there going to be a little bit of a setback? Possibly, but could he also just take over and take it from Rashi Rice? He could do that as well. So a guy like Matthew Golden, when there's a guy like Jaden Reed in the mix, yeah, he could do it. But Jaden Reed is a guy I like. Jaden Reed is the number one wide receiver on the Packers. Like really, like that's what it is. Green Bay is really starting to figure out that receiver core, figure out that offense. If there's one receiver I got to roll with, it's him. If I don't have him and I got to think something late, then I would go with Golden. Golden's going to have big games for sure. And you got a good quarterback in Jordan Love. He's going to make it happen. I mean, you can tell Golden really, really, really likes Green Bay a lot. I think this is a guy who wants to make his impact. And there's good balance on the team. I mean, that is an offense in Green Bay that is incredibly well balanced.
Jaden Reed is ranked 48th. Matthew Golden is 44th. Yeah,
Um, my mind is blown. This guy is looking at both those guys. That is insane. Jaden Reed, oh my gosh. Jaden Reed is a guy that's way too low. He should be like in the maybe the mid 20s, not the 40s.
yeah. And then a guy that might catch people off guard, and I'm totally fine with what I'm about to say, and it's
Yeah.
probably going to blow your mind, which is totally fine. I believe in me right now because
Okay.
there's a new quarterback in town. This guy is he might be the true number one, and he's ranked 38th. How about Jacoby Myers?
Yes. Jacoby Myers, one of those guys I love who's been playing with a very high floor for the last 2 seasons. Jacoby Myers being in the 30s, that's a steal, man. This is a guy who is the one. He will take over. He will have big games. He's a guy who has taken fate into his own hands. He runs beautiful routes. He's just incredibly committed, and he is a guy that the Raiders will absolutely count on. And he will play big. He will make things happen with Geno Smith. He's a guy that has size and speed. He has the great combination of both, and he can just make a juke and just be wide open. I mean, wide open. Him and Bowers, they can make like one juke and they're just gone. He's got kind of like that stick 'em mentality where it's almost like he can have a corner basically right in his back pocket and he's still going to beat him and make the catch. Jacoby Myers just like he is a guy that you put him in a phone booth, he's going to make that catch 10 out of 10 times. It's crazy. He is he is just mind-blowing to watch. People don't think much of him, but then I mean, I watch games. I've seen us win games because of Jacoby Myers, and that's my team. That's my boys. And Jacoby is a guy that I've liked, and he was kind of the number two behind Devonte Adams, but I'll be honest, he really wasn't. He really was the number one target ahead of Devonte Adams by every single quarterback. They weren't all that great, but every quarterback looked at Jacoby as the one, and then Devonte Adams after that. It's just the way it
I
was.
mean, Geno Smith is an upgrade over every quarterback that was there by
Yep.
far. Plus, Jacoby Myers had 129 targets, 1,000 yards, and 4 touchdowns.
Yep.
Pretty insane.
Yep. Yeah, I would think his catch percentage is incredibly high as well. And not only that, now he's going to have less pressure, less coverage going forward with Ashton Genty in that backfield. There's going to be better run game coming from the Raiders. And I think the Raiders are going to put out 12 personnel too. I mean, between Michael Myers and Brock Bowers, that's some solid 12 personnel you got there. You pair that with Jacoby Myers, and then you throw out Speed Demon Tucker Craft. It's going to be a weird offense to try to cover against.
Yeah. Speaking of, let's go to running backs really quick before we get out of here. There are a couple running backs that are catching my eye,
Sure.
and I don't understand what I'm looking at or why.
Okay.
So one, how is Tyrone Tracy ranked 33rd?
That is a guy that you and I love, and I don't think he's going to last till 33 in any draft that you and I are in together. I think him paired with Cam Scadaboo out of Arizona State is just nasty. And those are two guys, like when I'm talking hidden gems, those are the two guys I thought about immediately. That New York backfield, that like there's no Saquon Barkley anymore. All right, cool. Like these are your guys. Zero tread tires on Tyrone Tracy pretty much forever. Guy has only played professional football as a running back for maybe 3 years of his life. So you're getting some crazy value out of a guy like that. To be honest, this is a guy that's probably in the 20s. The New York Giants offense is going to be pretty good for the fact that their defense is going to be pretty good. Well, actually, that's not necessarily true. Your defense really does thrive on the offense, and I think that offense from the Giants is going to be kind of balanced. Granted, they do have the best player in this past draft in Abdul Carter, and that's going to pair well. Oh, by the way, from Hard Knocks last year, Brian Dawkins, who they traded for from Carolina, he's healthy. He missed all of last season. Now you have him. Now you have Abdul Carter. Now you have Kayvon Thibodeau. Now you got guys. You got guys playing defense. Granted, they lost a guy in the secondary to Green Bay, but they're improving. And I picked up Lindsay's football magazine, not fantasy football, but just straight up football. It's very good. They gave the New York Giants an A, just a straight up A across the board. It's kind of what my gut was saying, straight up A across the board. This is a team that's going to be like my Raiders team last year. They're going to try to have a meticulous offense that moves downfield and scores slowly. So if they're doing that, they're using their running backs frequently, for sure.
All right. Another low, and because of injuries, I think this rookie is going to be insane. Omari and Hampton for the Chargers. He's
Even
at
better.
20.
Yeah, Amarian Hampton, there is scary, scary talk about this guy. He is the guy. He took over. He's the guy. He is the number one running back on the Chargers. And Najee Harris hurt himself on the 4th of July. That plays into this. He is just I think Omarion Hampton is probably a guy who's got kind of a running style and a body type of uh, King Henry. Like that's that kind of running style that he brings. He's gonna just destroy defensive backs. Marion Hampton is absolutely fantastic, and there are some people that think he might have the best running back fantasy season of anybody.
Oh,
Yeah.
this one's kind of a head scratcher to me. Javonte Williams for Dallas is 31.
Okay, Javante Williams, Dallas running back. I actually don't even know who he is. Or wait, this is Javante Williams who
Denver.
played on Denver, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, Javante
And he's the number
Williams.
one.
He is the one. Guy played solid in Denver. I give him that. He can do things. He's going to be on the field a lot because we know that Dallas defense is going to be terrible, but that Dallas offense is not going to be terrible.
Yeah.
So he's a guy you're going to want. That's the way it's going to go.
All right. These two, I'm just picking names here because I'm confused.
Yeah.
Josh Jacobs is ranked 8th, 17th overall, so a second round pick. And then Alvin Kamara is 15th. He's a 4th round pick.
Yeah, Kamara, I could see that being fair. That's about right. He might even be better. Both those guys to me are better than the number that you're talking about. To me,
Yeah, I agree.
Josh Jacobs is a guy I think around maybe 5, maybe 6, and Kamara to me is always a guy that I think of in the top 10.
Yeah.
The pro and Kamara does it on garbage teams, and boy is he going to be on a garbage football team this season.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the concern. But could Kamara carry the Saints as hard as he could? Yeah, he could. He is that kind of guy. Um, he's basically the only bright point on that offense. If I heard right, I thought it was one of their high end receivers like Shaheed or Olave is like out for significant time going into this season. If I heard right.
Yeah, I don't see injury uh any
Okay.
injury news for them.
Okay. I'll have to double check that. But that's they're going to need that. They need Shaheed. They need Olave. They have virtually no quarter. Pardon me. They have no real quarterback play. This is going to be all on Kellen Moore to figure out what the heck is going on down there. They do have the human Swiss Army knife that we like. That tight end. I'm blanking on his name, but he's
Taysom Hill.
Taysom Hill. You got Taysom Hill. Yeah, if you need a tight end in fantasy this year, yeah, like roll the dice with Taysom Hill. Like straight up, man. That guy is fantastic. Um, I'm not sure if the other tight end there left to go to another team, but man, I don't know. Like Alvin Kamara is a guy I like. He's a little bit confusing based on that team makeup, but Kamara's I've always liked Alvin Kamara. He's a solid running back. He's kind of a scary guy outside the game, but he is on the field. He is just an amazing running back. I've always been impressed with how he plays.
And I'm looking at their quarterback room. Tyler Shaw, Spencer Rattler, Jake Hayner, and Hunter Deckers.
Yeah, it's the rough. It's probably one of the roughest quarterback rooms in the NFL for sure.
Oh,
They know
there's
there's
Tyler. He's a
they
rookie from Louisville.
but he's a 6 year senior.
Yeah, he's 25 years old.
Yeah. So it's not, and not only that, I mean, I am concerned when I see that when I know there's guys like, blanking on the name, but the Texas quarterback was like picked 13th. And that guy's really good. That guy should have easily been picked ahead of this guy.
Hmm.
So I'm a little concerned about stuff like that. That's where I really scratch my head with the Saints. And I mean, Kellen Moore is going to be calling this, but that's a team that, gosh, I can't see it in me to really draft anyone from this team except for Taysom Hill. Just saying.
Wow,
Yeah.
hurtful. Any other things you want to get out before we wrap up?
Yeah, I mean, just a tad bit of NBA. Keep your eye on the LA Clippers. Like flat out,
Oh
keep your eye.
boy.
I know Chris Paul went there today, and you pointed out they have a great roster. To me, they are the team that I am most concerned with for my Dallas Maverick bet because I love the Dallas Mavericks this season. But based on all these guys I'm seeing playing for the Clippers, they got guys, man. They really got guys. I think that team is better than the Rockets. I think they're better than they're going to be right up there with Oklahoma City. Like the LA Clippers are going to be a scary team. Lou Williams. This is going to be the year that Lou Williams needs to say that like flat out I'm at the top of the NBA. Like he has to do it right now. There might be a little bit of pressure simmering under him, but the Clippers they really got to start. They really got to make it
You mean
deep.
Tyronn Lue?
Yeah, sorry, Ty
Okay.
Lue. Yeah, Ty Lue. They got to make it deep in that Western Conference playoffs this season. They got the team, man. They really got the team.
If they stay healthy, man, I mean, at point guard, it's James Harden, Chris Paul. Bradley Beal and Bogdanovich are at the 2. Kawhi and Derek Jones Jr. at the 3, John Collins and Nick Batum at the 4, Zubac and Lopez are at the 5. Like,
This is a
top
10
10,
team deep, 10,
man.
10 player deep team.
And I didn't even talk about Chris Dunn, like, or
Wow.
Cam Christie. Like, they got other dudes behind those dudes that are like, oh, okay, I can see Chris Dunn. Chris Dunn played a lot of minutes for them last year. Like,
Okay.
they are
They're loaded.
studly. Yeah.
So do you think that basically their max lineup, all these guys could see play? I mean, could they be rolling out like hockey like substitutions where they could literally just swap 5 guys in, 5 guys out, let them play, let them get it done, then swap those 5 guys back in, then give a mix in and out, and just make it so you almost always have fresh legs? Like that could be something, man.
Well, I mean, if oh
Ty
wow.
Lue's got to use all these guys, man. If he can use all these guys and make it work, he's going to be pretty tough to beat. If he can manipulate that offense in a hockey slash baseball kind of style, he's always going to have fresh legs. He's gonna if he
If
can run it, if he can run the court and just outmaneuver teams, it's going to take a really intelligent head coach like Ty Lue to pull this off. And he's probably the best guy to do it. He really is.
if maybe you could convince Bradley Beal to be a 6 man, and I guess that's what like one of the
Oh
problems
yeah.
was. He didn't
Oh yeah.
he didn't want to be. So I've heard that the reason he didn't go to the Bucks or the Lakers were they weren't going to start him. Um
They got
like
enough guys in LA. They don't care.
Bogdanovich could start or Chris Dunn for defense. If Beal and Chris Paul came off the bench together, that would be crazy.
Yes. That is cool. That is super crazy, super cool. And you need to have a deep team to win. That team is deep. That team is super deep.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm all right with that.
Yeah, I think I'll be placing a bet on the Clippers. I will be doing my thing at the casino next month, and we will be going over our NFL divisional winners next month.
Cool. I'm in.
There you go. So we got it. We got a lot of show. We got a little bit of basketball tidbit at the end here, but that's what we got for the week. I'm Steve Metrics. That's your boy,
DJ Triggs.
and that's no debate.